How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make music like Bicep's Chroma 002. They're currently touring, given their latest release, which is an EP called Chroma. I saw them down in Brighton. Here is a snippet. It was a good set and I'd recommend seeing them live. Before we crack on with the video, I'm going to announce the winner of the competition. So the winner is Harry Kane. No, not Harry Kane. Harry Kame. Really happy with the track from Harry Kame. Definitely check his stuff out. I don't think he's got much released at the moment, but he's got a few mixes and stuff on his SoundCloud. But yeah, keep an eye out for any of his future tracks. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who entered the competition. It was great to hear some of your tracks. Some of you sent in some fucking bangers. But yeah, there's going to be one winner of the competition. Maybe next time I'll do like a sort of runners-up prize. Nice one. Let's crack on with the video. So let's have a look at the drums first. Cool. So this is what the drums sound like. Great, so if we have a look at them piece by piece, so I'm just going to mute everything and then I'll mute it. Great, so I'm going to go through and show you each element one at a time. So firstly, we've got the kick. This is actually a kick from my UK Garage Volume 3 drums pack. You can get that from the link in the description. The pack has tons of samples for making sick UK Garage like your favourite producers. I've then layered this with a clap. This is just a 909 clap. I've then got a nice little closed hat. If we have a look at this in more detail, you can see I've got quite a few effects in it. So first I've got this erosion. You can obviously move this around and almost create your own sort of hi-hat sound. I then got this flanger. Or in this case, it's been used as a phaser. If I select flanger, slightly different effect. And then I've got this vocoder. So as you see, all these effects coming together really make it quite interesting. I've then labelled that with a more normal hat. Again, this is from the same pack. We then needed some sort of strange percussion. You could of course add a phaser to this, or a flanger. We've then got some more hats. These have lots of swing and shuffle on them to sort of help give it a nice bit of groove. Great, now we've got the drums, we can move on to the bass. If we have a look at the MIDI first, we're in the key of E minor, so we're just sort of smashing in notes, so there's quite a nice little rhythm to it. Down to C, and then we're finishing on D. We're keeping that same sort of rhythm, so the double hit, and then bum 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 bum. And yeah, if we have a look at the patch itself, this is made in Serum and it's from my UK Garage Volume 4 Serum preset pack. Again, you can get the link from that in the description. It's on my website. So yeah, in oscillator A, we've got this FT add seconds. And this is where the real donk comes from. It's going to sound like this, and then you've got to bring up the wavetable position. And on top of that, we've got this sub. So a nice little sine wave. On their own, like good, but they sort of need each other to really fill in the high end of the mix and the low end. Obviously the subs fill in the low end and oscillator A is filling the sort of mid region to the top end. In envelope 1, we've got this really nice sort of low attack, no sustain, and yeah, a nice little bit of release. If we were to bring back even more, it'd be too plucky. But yeah, around the 700 mark, sounds sort of spot on. If we have a look at the effects, we've got this hyper, but this is actually off, so we can just turn this off for now. We've then got this compression. So I've got this multi-band mode on. Sort of helps bring out the top end and yeah, makes it a bit more crispy. Envelope 1 is of course controlling the amplitude envelope, which is the volume over time, and also this filter here. So if I was to bring this up, it's the exact same as using the filter here, but I do kind of think it has a slightly different tone to it, but that might just be my ears playing tricks on me. So yeah, we've also got this EQ, taking out a lot of the sort of mid section. Otherwise it's a little bit too sort of plasticky for my sort of liking. This makes it sound a bit more like thick and analog. It makes the listener sort of focus on those sort of low ends and the sort of low mid region. Great, so let's move on to the next section, which is this pad. So it's quite low in the mix, but yeah, it sort of helps to fill out the sort of rest of the frequencies. Otherwise, you're just going to have a dry drums and bass track, and it's just there needs to be a bit more fill into it. So yeah, this is sort of the fill-in, so to speak. So yeah, in oscillator A, we've got this matrix, so analog C64, and then this filter, just taking out some of the top end, so you're sort of left with like the mid region. You can obviously take this a bit higher if you wanted. In terms of the rest of the sound, we've just got this noise. Quite nice, crispy, organic sort of sound. The effects, yeah, just a bit chorus and reverb. I mean, I doubt they're that noticeable in the grand scheme of things, the effects on this sort of sound. The chords are really simple, they're just fifths, so we're following the same notes as the bass, so E, C, D, but then we've got this fifth above, which is the B, G, and A. So yeah, really simple. And you can probably hear this sort of stutter effect. This is coming from this trance gate. So this is the free plugin. I'd really recommend downloading this. It's really good. You can obviously flick through. I just kept it at the first one because it sounds banging. You can obviously change the mix. One of my favourite free plugins for sure. Yeah, so that's the pad. Lastly, let's move on to the sort of second pad. So it's quite a brassy sort of sound. This, of course, is made in Serum, and it's just following the same MIDI as the bass. So there's a fair bit of automation with the LFO1 controlling the filter and the res. So instead of having a low pass like this, we've gone for, if you go to multi, was it MISC, reverb. So this filter is supposed to add almost like a reverb and sort of add sort of spaciness to the sound rather than filtering the sound, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm just using this LFO to sort of manipulate that and make it a bit more interesting. Yeah, if you have a look at the oscillators, they've both got quite a nice bit of unison, which basically makes it a lot more stereo. So I think this was at 8 and this was at 4. And if we have a look at the effects, we've got a nice bit of hyper, so making it wider. A chorus, again, with a pad, one of the main ingredients to a good pad is adding a nice bit of chorus. And of course, some reverb. I think the key of this track is that there's no specific element that really stands out and you're like, oh my god, that's amazing. But when you get all the sort of subtle elements together, so you've got the flanger on the hats, you've got the sort of nice deep bass, this sort of stuttery pad on top, along with that obviously like really nice vocal, then it sort of brings it all together and makes a really nice track. I hope you enjoyed that, I hope you learned something, and I hope you found something that you can use in your own track. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Cheers.